Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Salesforce Ben webinar, this time in collaboration with Badger Maps. So if you don't know me, I'm Sima. I'm the Senior Campaign Manager here at Salesforce Ben, and today I'm going to be your host for the session. And I'm really glad that the internet started working in time again for today's session. I hope your days haven't been too disrupted by the Cloudflare outage today. As always, do let us know where you are tuning in from. And I'm sure you know the drill by now, but this session is being recorded. This will be shared in our follow-up email along with the slides for today's session. You are in watch only mode, but please do feel free to engage with us using the chat box. And there will be a Q&A at the end of the session, but feel free to submit your questions throughout. So at Salesforce Ben, we are building towards a future where there is a clear path to success for anyone who is looking to embark on or accelerate a career within the Salesforce ecosystem. And as a part of that, we do have a wealth of different resources available, enough to hopefully suit everyone. We've got articles, newsletters, events, both in person and virtual, and more. These resources offer practical, relevant, and accurate information on the ins and outs of the ecosystem. So if you haven't already had a look through any of what you see on screen, then don't forget to check them out later. But without further ado, I'd love to welcome to the stage Steve Benson. Steve he'll be here in just a moment, but he is the CEO and founder of Badger Maps. Hi, Steve.
Hello. How's it going?
Yeah, no, very well. It's great to have you here. Super excited to dive into the world of mapping tools. But yeah, the stage is all yours for now. I'll pop back in for the Q&A at the end.
All right. And I will share my screen here. And can you see my slides, Simon? Maybe you're already on mute here. Well, I am excited to be here. I am Steve Benson, and I'm here to talk to you about all things maps and Salesforce. So I guess of all things to talk about, why are we here to talk about maps, or why do I talk about maps? I guess besides maps being very interesting, my undergrad was in geography, and then I worked on the Google Maps team for about 4 years. And then 14 years ago, I founded Badger Maps, where I'm still CEO today. Badger Maps is a 100-person company, and it has 5 products that use mapping technology to solve various business problems. And I've also been hosting a podcast for the last 8 years called Outside Sales Talk, which is focused on field sales skills and the technology that they use, which often involves maps and routes. Today, however, despite my day job and the topic of my podcast, we're not just talking about Badger Maps or how to use maps in field sales. We're going to cover all the areas where mapping and routing are commonly used in Salesforce. So this includes things that Salesforce Maps does and also things that Badger Maps does, which, even though the names both contain maps, are generally very different things. So we'll discuss how we don't have to use paper maps anymore, and instead we can use pretty cool mapping and routing technology that's available to Salesforce users and administrators to do things like get geographic visibility into data, help with inefficient field teams, and replace manual territory management, and do various types of route planning. So we'll talk about where and how to add mapping and routing to your team's Salesforce arsenal to increase your team's productivity. I'm planning on going over where and how we can use maps for about 30 minutes, and then we'll open it up to questions and talk about whatever people want to talk about regarding maps and routes. So first, this is the general agenda: location intelligence, field mobility and sales enablement, territory alignment and lead routing, and route planning. So we will start with location intelligence, finding the where in your data. Visualizing your data on a map to gain valuable insights and make better decisions. Who needs location intelligence? Business leaders in sales, operations, and marketing all need to understand the where in their company's data. So mapping tools can enable all these different groups to better understand location-based aspects of the business. It allows you to quickly overlay your customer and business data on a map and assess where things are working and where they're not working. Bubble maps, heat maps, and choropleth maps are particularly impactful in terms of synthesizing customer data, field team activity, and performance into one visual that lets you quickly assess and optimize what resources are being allocated and to where. So this is a bubble map you see on the screen right now, and choropleth map is definitely the word of the day. That's where choropleth maps are the ones where the color changes in an area to reflect what's going on there, like revenue by zip code across the country, and it really helps data jump off the map, so to speak. Most companies don't have geographers on staff, but location intelligence tools can put those types of benefits and abilities at their fingertips. If only my college professors could see me now actually putting a geography degree to use. That would be fantastic. So what can you do with mapping visualization tools? Map-based insights into your customers, ranging from revenue size, industry, employee count, last order type, last order date, patterns on product penetration, looking at an area and seeing what cross-sell or upsell opportunities there are. That can all jump off a map. And really, when you view this type of information in a map-based interface, those types of insights enable you to better assign leads, deploy resources, and tailor your marketing efforts to target your audience, and sets the stage for growth in the future. So focusing your sales teams or team in general, focusing their efforts. So it's worth zooming in specifically on sales leaders and sales reps and how they can use mapping tools, because this is often one of the more impactful ways you can use maps in an organization. So, for example, make decisions about where reps should invest their time and maximize revenue, or you can do analysis that can go deep into data to label or call attention to accounts for reps that are most valuable or interesting or have the most potential at the company data level. Or reps can also use the tools on their own territories. You can use mapping tools to filter customers by Einstein score, potential revenue from leading indicators, last interactions, or physical proximity to an address to enable sales reps to optimize where and how they spend their time. So the more information you put in the hands of your sales team, like where nearby reference customers are to a potential prospect, it's an easy way to help your teams close more deals. So to zoom back on this one, you can deepen your understanding of the customer with map-based insights, and that can really help your sales team perform at their best. Next, make data-driven marketing decisions. This is a big one, and with marketing dollar savings and inefficiencies, really, without a location-based understanding of your customers, your marketing team's flying blind. So it's easy to miss valuable opportunities, and it's easy in using maps to reach new and existing audiences is much easier if you can take geography into account. Marketers can use maps with other parts of the Salesforce marketing suite, such as Pardo, to optimize and customize their marketing efforts. With pre-built database connectors, you can overlay your customer data with external data, property and demographic information, et cetera, and get deep insights into your existing customers and devise targeted campaigns and tactics for other marketing campaigns. Data mapping tools can also help you find and target new leads and rank them with Einstein or Pardo scores to identify the most valuable opportunities. You can do things like generate a list of customers that live within a 30-minute drive of a store location, for example, and then you can add them to a Salesforce campaign or a static or a dynamic Pardo list. And then you can send them customized invitations or marketing emails. You could push your newly created dynamic Pardo list to the Salesforce Engagement Studio program, set up triggers, enforce rules, and then take actions on your communities. Aside from targeting, mapping analytics it's super useful for helping you coordinate marketing activities across different geographic areas. For example, you can calculate the total dollar value of all open opportunities in an area and then determine an appropriate place to hold an event. Or let's just say you know your average deal size for the past 3 years in different regions or state. You can invite everyone within a certain geographic area that has certain characteristics to an event, or change their Einstein score, etc. Bottom line here, from field marketing to campaign messaging, mapping analytics can help you develop a data-driven strategy to drive growth. The next section, field team mobility. So this one's near and dear to my heart, since solving these problems is more or less my life's work, at least to this point. The first one is probably the most obvious. It's really valuable to put your Salesforce data at your fingertips, at your reps' fingertips, with a mobile map, and then it's on their phone when they're out in the field. So very, very valuable. Some of the most frequently used and useful mobile applications in the consumer market rely heavily on maps. Google Maps, Uber, Yelp, Airbnb, Zillow, Strava, they're all leveraging maps combined with data to create value for their users. Similarly, maps combined with Salesforce data in a mobile application can help the field sales teams perform better. Mobilizing Salesforce data with your maps equips your reps with the customer data that they need in the field and display it in the way they need it, on a map, right on their phone. It also provides managers with the tools they need to oversee and assess field rep performance. Some examples of this and how it's valuable: reps can mobilize their CRM and get optimized routes right on their phone. They can decrease busy work and minimize time behind the wheel. They can capture more data into Salesforce, which equip managers with the information that they need to make better decisions. Reps can also quickly update records, sync their route with their schedule, and check in and out of appointments. The bottom line here is that with a map on their phone, with all the customer data on it, you can really enhance your reps' productivity. Key area here is capturing more data from the field directly into Salesforce. So you can unlock the value of Salesforce when you're able to continuously capture data from the field if you have a field sales team. So this, in turn, all this data can help the marketing team, the operations team, and the management team help them make strategic data-driven decisions that can really boost business performance. A big challenge around getting data from the field and into your CRM is that reps are both busy and they're constantly on the go. So they often struggle to update their CRM, which is fundamentally the best. CRMs are fundamentally best used on a laptop or a desktop computer but are often not as, you can't do everything on the mobile that you could do on the desktop in general. So when you're writing down notes or taking notes on the phone, hoping to transfer them later when you're back at your computer at the end of the day or at the end of the week, and then that often fails to work out, and important customer details are lost because the data wasn't structured in a way that prompted them to get everything down. However, with a mobile mapping app, you can enable your sales team to gather data from the field without leaving the activity or workflow they're already in of basically running from meeting to meeting. How do you do that? You can use customized forms or check-ins where the fields are connected to the fields and different objects across the CRM. So this solves the hunting and pecking around the CRM after every call problem, trying to fill out everything in the right place, because it just turns a drop down and some speech to text into one form that sends all the data right to the right fields and the right object within Salesforce automatically. When the field team captures data on their phone app like this, organizations can gather a tremendous amount more data, up to 50% more data back into Salesforce, which sounds like a wild number, but we've got case studies of a 300-person sales team that got exactly that, and they actually started using Badger back in 2014, and they were actually one of our first enterprise customers, and yeah, I guess that was almost 10 years ago. But anyway, 50% more data into Salesforce, and that's absolutely game changing, right? So next slide here. The next 3 slides are about enabling your sales team. And I'm going to move through these pretty quickly because not everyone here is going to be focused on sales. First thing is equipping sales reps with a map made for prospecting, finding new leads. So uncovering new leads is a huge part of growing revenue, and it's really useful for reps in the field that can look up what leads are around them. An example here is a rep that sells medical devices to dentists, and they can bring up not only the dentists the company knows about on the map that are in Salesforce, but also the map can be linked to databases like Google of all the dentists in the world that show them which dentists are in a certain area that they didn't necessarily know about. So this is lead generation on a mobile device for a rep in the field is particularly useful if there's any kind of disruption to the rep's route or their plan for the day, meaning if there's a customer cancellation or you finish a meeting early, the rep can search for new leads that are right around them along a given route and make those extra stops and generate more leads. So next one here is enacting best practices and compliance with location check-ins. So getting often not enough data is captured into the CRM to help sales managers gain insights into the territory and effectively monitor their teams. With using check-ins and reporting capabilities to enable reps to report what, where, and when things are happening in the field, a sales manager can know where a sales rep was on the map when they took those notes about a particular customer interaction. So with a mobile mapping app, notes are time, date, location stamped automatically, which allows managers to quickly run reports and ensure compliance amongst their reps. So in practice, what does this mean? At 2 p.m. on a Friday, when a note was taken about a customer meeting that should have happened in a suburb 45 minutes away, you know if the note was actually taken from the tee of the 5th hole of a golf course or from home or wherever. And that's super helpful to sales management teams who really want to know what's going on in the field. Automatic mileage calculation for expense reimbursement. Calculating mileage by hand with Google Maps and a spreadsheet is a surprisingly large time sink for someone who's driving around visiting customers in the field all day. I've done it back in my youth when I was pounding the pavement selling software and servers for IBM on the hard streets of San Francisco. Anyway, when reps spend time on this type of administrative work, they lose time selling, and automating the tracking and accounting of their mileage reimbursements is an easy way to take work off reps' plates. Huge waste of time to have everyone on the sales team rebuilding their routes in Google Maps for their mileage accounting. So copy and pasting addresses back and forth from Salesforce and ordering, putting the stops in order to get the exact mileage is really, it's busy work. And if you're using route planning software to schedule your day, it's also automatically able to just know the mileage and give you an accurate mileage count and run the report at the touch of a button. It's also worth noting that mapping software can verify mileage and enable auditing because it captures the location where check-ins occurred. So bottom line on this one is, doing your mileage by hand is painful, and a tool can make this fast and easy. So territory alignment and lead routing, big things that maps do for an organization. First, territory alignment. So software that builds out territories for field sales or field service people, meaning if you have 150 reps across the country, building 150 fair territories balanced on number of accounts, amount of revenue in the territories that the territories are currently producing in that area, the geographic size of the territory, and new business potential from the territory are common things to balance territories on. And this is something that many organizations kind of hack together in a spreadsheet, but creating compact, fair, and balanced territories by hand is a tedious process, and it often results in inefficiencies and inequitable territory assignments. Also, the alignments that you can build can quickly become outdated as you add and subtract new sales reps in the field and change territories around. It can leave some territories overextended and others underextended, which can stretch the wrong team members and leave customers dissatisfied because the service is lower quality. Territory planning software can help you automate this process and enable you to visualize and analyze your territories and develop optimized territories that will increase employee and customer satisfaction. You can test out different spatial scenarios, adjust alignments, you can deploy changes on the territory, and push all that account ownership and all that information back into Salesforce. You can take into account the rep skill sets, their seniority, their workload, or their availability into your territory assignments. And really all these variables that make up what a territory is. The bottom line here is thoughtful, data-driven territory management can be the difference between a successful sales team and one that is struggling. And just getting your sales team balanced, fair territories that no one has to fight over will generally get you a 5 to 7% lift in revenue. So I definitely would place this one in the low-hanging fruit category. Next one's lead routing. That's automatically assigning the right lead to the right territory. If your reps have physical territories, you can't just round robin new leads in the way you can with an inside sales team, right? Someone needs to look at which territorial lead is in, determine which rep owns the territory, assign the lead to that rep, and notify the rep. And it's impossible to do this fast enough manually for reps to get back to customers quickly. And getting back to customers quickly is important because over 78% of customers will go with the first company that responds to them. So huge opportunity to automate lead routing in general. Fortunately, Salesforce users can leverage map-based lead assignment technology to get the new leads into the rep's hands automatically and instantly so that they can respond to new leads faster. Admins can also create assignment rules based on lead attributes like company size, opportunity size, product type, or industry. This way, you can not only respect physical territories, but you can also do things like send all leads of a certain size or in a certain vertical to a particular rep. Or you might want to divide a territory into large or small deals, or have two reps share one geography, but still split the deals up by size. Bottom line is, if someone in the organization is looking at each lead and deciding where it should go, this is an easy way to automate a very annoying task and take it off their plate and really help out all the reps who will get their leads right away instead of having to wait. Next one, look, being able to plan and optimize your route in minutes. So route planning software enables sales and service reps to spend more time with the customer and less time planning, driving, and zigzagging around town due to poor planning. So by optimizing multi-stop routes, a rep can save time, gas, and money, and reach more customers in the field to close more deals. Mapping out customer data specifically helps reps strategize how they route and plan their day, and helps them focus on the accounts and leads that matter most. Advanced routing software also enables them to use business rules to visit at a certain cadence, time windows, account prioritization, and automate route planning for up to 4 months out and inject strategy into their daily schedule. Mobile mapping really stands out in routing software because it enables field reps to change, update, and optimize their routes directly from their mobile device. With a mobile route planner, reps can respond to cancellations or disruptions very quickly and recapture efficiency by finding meetings or accounts that are nearby. They can also generate new leads in a given area when they're out in the field. Reps using route planning apps see an average of 2 more customers or prospects per day and boost their sales up to 20%. So route planning for your field sales team is definitely in the low-hanging fruit category once again. So next slide here. Dispatching the right rep to the right place at the right time. Dispatchers and fleet managers have a unique challenge in weighing a host of variables to determine how and when to deploy a rep or asset in the field. Mapping optimizes their ability to dispatch the right rep with the right skills, inventory, and tools to service the right customer at the right time. Specifically, it facilitates better decision making by incorporating the rep's real-time position, the rep's home base, territory borders, and customer location all into one easy-to-use interface. With a real-time map-based view of the field team, dispatchers and managers can quickly and efficiently assign new service calls and improve customer service. You can also incorporate the ability to schedule routes based on constraints and business rules like visit windows, SLAs, or any kind of priority of that nature. And mapping is inextricably linked to efficiency and effective management of a fleet or a service team. So this is also a great one. Great place to use mapping within Salesforce. Responding faster with live location on your trucks or your equipment with live location tracking, dispatchers and fleet managers can better identify problems, manage assets, optimize safety, and save on expenses. Live tracking can also answer questions like, where are our trucks? Or perform notifications like, notify me when a truck is 10 minutes or 2 miles from a location. Live tracking is another mapping tool on the tool belt that managers can calculate time on site. They can automate follow-up communication. They can quickly update work order status, do check-in, check-outs, monitor traffic congestion, and really just make their team more efficient. Geofencing, also super interesting, automatic notifications, because it's complex to keep track of assets like trucks or equipment and optimize their usage. And a mapping app can allow you to not only know the exact latitude and longitude of your assets, but you can also be automatically informed if policies aren't followed. Geofencing is a super easy way to enforce policy, obviously, and just know when something's not in the right zone or the right territory. And definitely a way to help managers gain greater oversight into their resources. And workers can also protect their privacy by toggling live tracking on or off based on their work status. All right. I'm going to skip showing
Badger maps
because if you wanted to see an overview of what we do or a demo of what we do, that's on the website. Of course, Salesforce Maps also has demos. Today we've discussed how managers and analysts, executives, and field reps benefit from both Salesforce Maps and Badger Maps. And these two add-ons extend Salesforce's capabilities in different ways, and many organizations will find that different roles and jobs will benefit from each of these apps, and some will benefit from both of these apps for different tasks. Badger Maps is really focused on field salespeople using maps on the phone, territory management, and lead routing. Salesforce Maps has a focus on deep map-based analysis, marketing decisions, dispatch and management of field services and trucking assets, and fleet management. Both of these tools work seamlessly with the rest of Salesforce's capabilities. There's a ton of value to be unlocked from Salesforce data, and it can really do a lot for efficiency and processes in an organization with the proper use of these mapping tools. These geospatial tools enable location intelligence capabilities that can help a business save money and increase revenue. Mapping capabilities covered here today are a great place to get started. And between Salesforce Maps and Badger Maps, Salesforce users can unlock the where in their CRM data. So next, let's move on to questions and see what people have to ask.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Steve. Fab. Yeah, we'll move on to Q&A now. So if you do have any questions, do feel free to submit them in our Q&A tab, and we'll get around to them now. We did have one come in earlier. Do you support time window constraints, business hours, visit duration, priorities, and so on? And if not, what proven workarounds do you offer?
Yeah, so that's that is so. Is this written somewhere, by the way? Is it? Do I see the questions?
Yes. So on the left-hand side, you should see Q&A.
Oh, okay, great. I see Q&A. Oh, it's on chat. Great. So time window constraints, business hours, visit duration. Yes, that's definitely something you can do in Salesforce. The Salesforce Maps has really, really sophisticated delivery delivery management software that handles this really well. Not only the visit duration and understanding who to prioritize given your deliveries, but also really all elements of managing your fleet. So that's definitely something that is very doable and definitely worthwhile in the Salesforce ecosystem.
Amazing, thank you. As a consultant implementing Salesforce in different organizations, the question of mapping solution comes up a lot. Salesforce Maps seems to be best suited for certain needs, such as desktop layers with aggregate data, etc., and other options in the marketplace seem better suited for other needs, like mobile or field-related features, like you mentioned. Are there resources to help find the right tool for the right need?
Yes. So, and I didn't structure this talk to kind of break down. Here's exactly what Salesforce Maps does. Here's exactly what Badger Maps does. But there are a ton of great. I mean, obviously, the best place to go to understand the differences are the websites and exactly where that'll help break down. There is a really nice industry analysis that I read recently by a consulting firm called Filter Advisors. I don't know if I could maybe dig it up and put it in the chat or something, but if you just go to Filter Advisors website, there's a really nice analysis of like kind of the whole space of mapping. That's not Salesforce specific. I've tried to just be Salesforce specific because these two tools are obviously Salesforce Maps is very focused on Salesforce, but and Badger Maps goes across many CRMs, all the 12 largest CRMs. But that's a great resource, the Filter Advisors mapping and routing asset.
Fantastic, thank you. Do I need a Google API key to get this running?
No, you do not. So fortunately, I pay Google tons and tons of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So you don't have to. No, that's a part of both Google Maps and, as far as I know, Salesforce Maps. That's all of the usage of the maps. So we use Google Maps. I'm actually not totally sure what maps Salesforce Maps are based on, but we're using Google Maps as our mapping layer, and then that injects the maps under all the stuff that we're doing, right? But as a result, it's embedded in our software, so you don't have to worry about that. And that's the team. That's the team I used to work on. Is the Google Maps API team. Back in my youth.
Fantastic, thank you. Any other questions before we wrap up today's session? I'll give it a few more moments in case anyone. This is a follow-up from the earlier question. What does Salesforce Maps do specifically compared to Badger Maps?
So I guess so. Badger Maps is really focused on field salespeople that need to use maps on their phone. So it's focused on the workflows that make those people successful when they're in the field, and also tools to manage field salespeople. Badger also does territory management. It does lead routing. Salesforce Maps has a focus on map-based analysis. So things like marketing decisions or operational analysis, questions like, where should I put my next location? It also has really, to the first question, it has really rich dispatch and management of field services and trucking assets. I guess that was someone else's question, but dispatch, trucking assets, and also fleet management. They're generally complementary products. There are a few areas of overlap. Like the best example is they both have a territory alignment product, which is a feature they both just do very well. And but that it kind of makes sense that there are some things that are a feature of each, but that it's not the main thrust of it. That's kind of a thing that you do. But in general, bottom line, very complementary products. They both bring a ton of value to that ecosystem.
Great, thank you. Any other questions?
One thing to add, there are free trials of Badger. There's a 30-day fully integrated with Salesforce free pilot and a 90-day money-back guarantee for people that want to try it out and see how it works for them.
Great, thanks, Steve. There aren't any further questions coming through, so one extra one. Just as I always say, there aren't any. There's some coming through. Our CRM data has a lot of fields the sales team doesn't need. Can we avoid displaying all of it on the map?
Yeah, absolutely. You have complete control over what objects you display on the map, and also what fields within those objects, including custom objects, that you display on the map.
Lovely, thank you. Okay, I think now I will wrap up the session. And yeah, thank you so much, Steve, for coming and sharing all of these insights. I'm sure that everyone in the audience found it super, super insightful, and for also taking the time to answer the questions as well. And thank you, everyone in the audience as well. As I mentioned in the intro, the recording of this session will be shared in our follow-up email along with the slides if you would like to revisit anything or share it wider with anyone else who might find the session helpful. But other than that, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of the day. Thanks, everyone.